Okay, so now my favorite part, let's see Pluto in generations. Okay, this will be fun. Pluto in Aries generation, 1922, 1953. So if you also remember the US history or world history, so during that time, we have the individualism, cowboys, leadership, entrepreneurship, at the same time, tyranny. So in the US, there was the ideology of manifest destiny of expansion. So US expanded to the West. Also, they purchased Louisiana around that time. So gun manufacturers were so common. So it was a business. So guns, Aries, Mars, Death, Pluto. So guns were produced in a massive way. And also, the motto was the Wild West. So we had the cowboys, Wild West, adventure, traveling with Pluto and Aries, individual traveling, like individual adventure, and leadership, and so on. And in Pluto in Taurus, 1852, 1884. So before this, let's take a look at the date before, which is 1619. So in 1619, the first slave ships from Africa arrived in American colonies. Pluto was in Taurus. What is Taurus? Body. Pluto exploitation, controlling, death, diseases. So we have slavery starting. So when Pluto was again in Taurus after the Civil War, slavery was abolished. Okay, so you see the connection in history again. So then we had the second industrial revolution, money and capital, and New York stock market was first opened at that time when Pluto was in Taurus. So yeah, for that we can predict that stock market will change in the United States when Pluto gets to Taurus, like in how many years, how many decades, like at the end of this century, possibly. And I think this date also includes California gold rush. So in the 19th century, so after 1950s, so many people rushed to California to find gold. So what is gold? Venus. So what is Pluto? Mining. You see the connection, California gold rush. So mining for gold, mining in dirt. So nature at the same time, Taurus. So yeah, we see the historical connection. And then Pluto in Gemini, 1882, 1914. And Neptune was also in Gemini between 1887 and 1902. So in literature, as I told you last week, there was a shift from realism to modernism. So the new authors emerged, and there were dime novels, story magazines, and new publishing houses. So publishing was a kind of monopoly. So the books were canonic books, so like classic books. So we did not have independent authors before then. So they were all educated, graduated. But with Pluto in Gemini and Neptune in Gemini, so new publishing houses were uh, established. So there were more voice in literature. So telephone became mainstream and radio was invented. So also Einstein had the theory of relativity. So, Gemini, two people. So one thing might feel differently to somebody else. So two people might feel the same thing differently. Theory of relativity. So Pluto in Gemini, you see. Pluto in Cancer, 1914, 1939. So we had the First World War, basically. The world changed. And then it is related to protecting countries, patriotism, independence war, empires collapsed, many new nations were established. So also it is related to the role of women. Cancer is about women. So in 1919, with the 19th Amendment in the United States, and during those times in many countries in Europe, um, women were given right to vote. Yeah, in Europe as well. So with Neptune in Cancer at the same time, during these transits, we had frozen, processed, or canned foods with Pluto in Cancer. So this changed home, family, living, food, and so on, and the status of women. And Pluto in Leo, 1937, 1958. So we have the keyword charisma. So Pluto in Leo will be about charisma. So Pluto in Leo, so lots of leaders in dictators, fascism, and so on. So we have Hitler, for example, during this period, and we have Mussolini in Italy during this period. So we have the rise of fascism, and Leo also rules the children. Sorry, Leo also rules the children. So we have the rise of birth, increase in birth rates, and we also have the rise of the Hollywood superstars, rise of Hollywood. So, oh, sorry. So last week we talked about it. Um, the movies were first made in 1920s or 1930s. But sorry, I will have some water. Yeah, I'm back louder than ever. We had the rise of Hollywood. So before then, there were movies, but there were no movie stars or superstars. But with Pluto in Leo, we have charismatic superstars, charismatic actors like Elvis, for example, Hollywood, music industry. So we had the boom in Hollywood film and music industry. And Pluto, is also about dirt, secrets, dark, abuse, rape, sexual exploitation, and so on. So now I have the enlightenment right now. So you probably know the recent issues in music industry with Puff Diddy, Jay-Z, R. Kelly, usually the arrest of Puff Diddy, Diddy or so why Pluto is in Aquarius? Like Pluto will be in Aquarius. So it went back into Capricorn, like it is the industry. So it kind of exposed the dirt. So now it will get into Aquarius and will kind of clean the dirt and will make it to public. Aquarius is about public. So first in Pluto and Leo, we have the rise of superstars, Hollywood, movie industry, film industry, and now Pluto in Capricorn and Pluto in Aquarius in a few days. So we have the big exposure. So right now Pluto is in Aquarius, like soon. So I believe that we will see lots of exposure of these things. Okay. So I will write about that on Instagram. Okay. And Pluto in Virgo, baby boomers. So now we are coming to the generation that we know, 1956, 1972. So what we have after the Second World War, we have corporate jobs, 9 to 5 jobs, office jobs, service sector, medical sector. So there was a boom in medicine industry. There were chemical trials, like medicine trials. Also, there were lots of scandals in medicine industry. So some medicine were discovered that they made cancer, so they were harmful, so they were banned, for example. So I think what is it, FDA became kind of powerful when Pluto was in Virgo, Food and Drug Administration. Um, So Uranus was also in Virgo between 1962 and 1969. So that highlighted the Virgo energy. So we have the invention of pocket calculator, so Virgo calculation. We have ATM machines like instant service, and we have first prototype programming and the internet, like before that. So we had the early type of internet. We had the first email and yeah, Medicare and Medicaid systems in the United States were established. So for the welfare, so yeah, we have the motto welfare state. So everyone should access to health equally. So there were new medical systems. So we have pesticides, the use of pesticides, which were proven to be harmful later. We have the establishment of Greenpeace with Pluto and Virgo, and we have birth control pills and the rise of cannabis and psychedelics with Pluto and Virgo. So you see, like I'm so amazed. Each time I teach these classes, I'm so amazed. So how everything happened in like accordingly to the planets. So if you know these things, it is impossible for you not to believe in astrology, basically. Pluto in Libra, Generation X. So it is 1971, 1984. So Uranus was there between 1971, 1977. So we have the normalization of divorce. So in many countries, divorce became kind of a normal thing or acceptable thing. We have the transformation in gender roles. So we also have the third wave of feminism, like that will start. Like it is the end of second wave feminism. It is the start of the third wave feminism. So we have the power couples on traditional types of relationships. We have gay rights movement. We have John Lennon's piece of activism. We have Equal Rights Amendment. So what is that? So Equal Pay Act, for example, men and women should be paid equally. Men and women should have the equal rights. So Pluto is also about power. So we have Margaret Thatcher, even though like many people dislike her, she was the first female prime minister of the United Kingdom. So we have the case, Roe versus Wade. It is about the right of abortion. So the right of abortion, where right of abortion was given to women at that time. And we have the rise of female characters in movies. like Charlie's Angels, Wonder Woman, and so on. And Pluto in Scorpio, my generation, millennials, 1983, 1995. So this generation were brought up by Harry Potter, Goosebumps, and we have the interest in occult and witchcraft. So actually, the revival of witchcraft, occult, happened thanks to Pluto in Scorpio generation, astrology as well, tarot. So we made these things mainstream, basically. And we have tattoos. So tattoos are also related to Pluto and Scorpio. And we have the care for privacy. So usually this generation's motto is mind your own business. So Pluto and Scorpio generation usually will be devoted on themselves. So will be mindful of themselves. So they will also be careful with their privacy. And we have the discovery and treatment of sexually transmitted diseases, many of them. And we had the revival of Gothic, Tim Burton, horror movies, or this type of, let's say, dark or Gothic things. So Pluto in Sagittarius, Generation Z, 1995, 2008. We have the globalization of the internet. So internet became mainstream. So internet first appeared in uh, Pluto in Virgo and then became mainstream in Pluto in Sagittarius. So became global. So radio, Pluto in Gemini, okay, internet, Pluto in Virgo. So the mainstream internet, Pluto in Sagittarius. So they all happen in mutable signs. So mutable signs is about exchange, transformation, media. So remember our very first class. So yeah, and what happened with the globalization of the internet? The world became more globalized. So internet broke the borders. So thanks to internet, we are here now. We are all from different countries, and we have an international class, online class. So we have like Kindle, PDF, Wikipedia, Google, Facebook, YouTube, new media, basically. So they all made the knowledge accessible. So, YouTube, before YouTube, what was it? MTV. You would wait in front of TV for your favorite music video. But now we have YouTube. You can instantly watch your favorite music video, or you don't have to follow the news on from TV. You can follow YouTube. You can just search for anything on Google, and you don't need to have like big books in your home. You have Wikipedia. So we have new media, basically. And uh, Pluto in Sagittarius is also related to fanaticism, extreme movements. So we have the clash of extreme religious or fanatical movements, such as 9/11 attacks. And Sagittarius is also about traveling. So with that, we have the increase of security at the airports. So before then, airports were not that, let's say, strict in security. And we have the rise of hooliganism. We have the rise of fandoms. Fandom is related to Pluto in Sagittarius. Like Swifties, kitties, like this type of fan communities. And it is also related to dark web. Pluto is about darkness. Pluto in Capricorn. So with that, we have like we are in the last few days of Pluto in Capricorn. So it was about the changes in systems, or it prepares a ground for revolution. So between 1970 between 1782 or 1778, it was in Capricorn as well. Then Pluto ingressed into Aquarius for a short time again, and then came back to Capricorn. So at that time, what happened? American Revolution. So right now, Pluto is also in Capricorn, and it will go back into Aquarius. So we can expect some big thing. And in 2008, so we had economic crash, economic crisis. We have Occupy Wall Street movement. We have WikiLeaks. We have Brexit during this period. So all political movements. And Pluto in Aquarius, 1778, 1796. So this transformed the Saturnian skepticism into abstract and revolutionary significance. So we had lots of revolutions when Pluto was in Aquarius, and right now I think the world will witness that. And for measuring, we have the global metric system with Pluto and Aquarius. So I think in the world, so there will be more global systems. So global cables, global, I don't know, plugins, global things. So the differences will become globalized. Okay, so between 2023 and 2044, there will possibly be revolutionary changes in abstract systems. So we will see lots of changes, basically. Finally, Pluto in Pisces, 1797, 1823. So we have traveled by rail across the ocean, Pisces Ocean, by high-pressure steam engines, Neptune gas, Pisces gas. So we have Napoleon's rise and fall, and we have Romanticism in art and literature, which stood against strict realism or rationalism of the Enlightenment, favorite myth, nature, mystery, and supernatural. So you see again all Piscean themes. So after Pluto in Aquarius, so after 2044, yeah, we can go through same things again. We can go through similar things again with Pluto in Pisces. So, like I love looking at history. So at university, my favorite class was American history. So for that, when I see the generational planets, that gives me so much joy to see what happened in the history, because these are generational planets and you need to check what happened back then. Okay, any comments, any questions?